a text while I was at work. Oh, look where I'm at. While I'm sitting with a bunch of students.
Sorry, I just realized I didn't have my camera going.
Oh, there he is. With a bunch of interesting background there. Okay. I need to make
Is that
sure.
better?
I'm looking at this. Oh, they got the Canadian flag, huh? All right. Are you feeling somewhat Canadian, Chris? Let's see. Okay, I don't know what it's doing over here. Stream is live. It's just taking its time over here on. Hey, Tease.
Yes.
Can you see anything on YouTube yet?
I see something from May that says it's live.
From May?
That's the title.
Oh, let me
go see if it's us.
fiddle around with this. I thought I had this set up here.
Yeah, it's showing live.
It is live. Why? But it says.
There it goes.
It says May.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Why is it saying May? I may have to fix that later. Yeah, I'll fix that later.
All I can see right now is the OBS.
Yeah, because I have it on that main screen. That's all. I just have it over there. Okay, well, as long as the OBS is working, I can set that aside. Okay. All right, good. So you got this screen. That's all that matters. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Aha. Oh, hang on a second here. I need to bring up the agenda. I should probably print it off. Actually, you know what I might do? I'll just put it on the other screen. That's what I'll do. Okay. I could just leave it up on the main screen, and then that's all you'd see. That's all the video would be this bit right here. I won't do that.
Well, would it be a better view than something else? Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Were you using your inside voice on the outside again there, Lori? No.
I was.
It's bad. Okay, Annette's here. Let me get her in. Okay. And she's joining. All right. There, she's connecting. Good.
Okay, but now my laptop finally came up, so I'm gonna, once I see that I can get in from my laptop, I'm gonna switch to it.
Okay.
I'm up again, so I may stay on this.
Well, you made it home, I can see, and you're not filming from the park.
No, but I just walked in. I'm still dressed.
Oh, you're still dressed in your gear. Okay. Well, I haven't changed either, so still wearing my
Annette, thank you for getting dressed for these things.
She's got her T-Mobile stuff on there.
Oh, that. Okay. All right.
Yep.
She's still
I'm full badge and everything.
Yep. She's still got her gear on there. Okay, well, good. I think everybody's here now. So let's let me go ahead and officially start this. So we're going to start the board meeting for Wednesday, September 15, 2021. The board meeting is officially called to order. I'm going to quickly go around the room and do an official roll call. We'll start with Jean representing Cascadian. I think you're muted, Gene.
I'm here.
Okay. And Vicky, representing Southwest Chapter.
Here.
Lori, representing the Secretary Chair.
Yes.
Thank you. Karen, representing 48 North.
Here.
And Mr. Umfenauer, representing the Puget Sound Chapter.
Here.
And Miss Annette, representing the Treasurer position. Yay! Then we have Jerry representing the Inland Empire chapter,
Here.
and Jacob, who is our official vice president.
Here.
And let's see, we have Patrick, who is representing the South Central chapter.
Here.
And finally, we have Aaron representing the Olympic Peninsula chapter.
I'm here.
You are.
Yeah, my audio is not very good, but I can hear you guys just fine.
Wow, actually, we can hear you pretty good. So,
Okay.
so there you
I'm
go.
gonna put you on mute because I'm at
Okay.
work, so it's really loud.
Okay, the gang's all here. Yay!
So Chris,
Yes.
I'm fixing to sign on from my laptop, and then I will disconnect from my phone.
Okay. All right. May the force be with you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's. Oh, the July meeting minutes. So, Lori, did you get those out? I think I saw those out.
I did.
I
I struggled all day long because I totally forgot and I was trying to do it from my cell phone, so I had to find where they were. I did finally find them and got them out.
Okay. So, has everybody had a chance to review those? Okay. I see heads nodding. That's a good thing, as long as they're not shaking. Okay. So, with that, any questions, comments, concerns for Lori on the notes? And if not, then we need to approve them.
I motion to approve.
Any seconds?
I second.
Okay, let's go through we'll do this. I'll just go around the horn and so that we can mark it. So, Gene,
Hey.
Vicky,
Yeah.
Lori,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Annette,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Jacob,
Yes.
Patrick.
I never received the meeting or the notes.
Oh, you did not see it? Okay, so I'm taking you're going to abstain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I never actually received them. I still don't see them in my email.
They came from, I returned them off of Chris's email.
Yeah, she did. As I remember, she basically responded to all on that. So look for that and you'll find it. How about Aaron?
Yep.
Okay. I can always come back to you, Patrick, if you would like. If you want to take a look at them. If not, I mean, the motion would approve anyway. Seeing as though we have all ayes except one abstain. So we can kind of move on. All right, so if that's fine, we can. Yes, I heard somebody said something.
Once you get this done, can you let me in?
Oh, yes.
Just asking.
Yep. I see you there. All right.
Okay. Then I will hang up off of this silly phone.
Okay. It's.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Looks like you're here.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. All right. All right. So Patrick, did you look at him still, or have you found him?
No, I still don't have them.
Okay.
I'm not seeing them at all.
We can send those to you, and if we want, we can always. I suppose we could do it amended, but it passes anyway. So
That's fine.
okay. All right, let's move on. Annette, since you're locked and loaded here, the treasurer's report. I know you sent that because I saw it.
Yep.
The question to everybody is: hopefully, everybody's taken a look at it. Do you have anything additional to add, Annette, to that?
I just want to make sure that everybody saw the note at the bottom of the report where it said that ape coin sales of $1,400 that I got from Mark Clemens and 871 that I got from Jacob were deposited in the month of September. So they are not on that report at the top of the page, but those funds are included in the current bank balance as of today. And so those amounts will show up as income from 8 coin sales in September. But that's why there is no report of income for them for the months of July or August, because I did not get the money.
Yeah, you didn't get it because I was sitting on the envelope here, and I've been meaning to give it to you, and so I had to go all the way to Richland to give it to you. So
To hand it off.
I know, got some miles off those checks there. But anyway, that was nice. So it was a nice little tidy sum there to go into our account. So that's good, and we're going to have definitely some expenditures here with the Geo Tour, but we'll talk about that in a bit here. We still need to review that contract from HQ, but we're getting off topic. So any comments regarding the treasurer's report? If not, we can move on to membership. If there's nothing else.
Good thing to see that we continue to have a steady stream of memberships, some of which I think are new members.
Yeah, exactly.
Or renewals, but there do appear to be some new members joining.
Yeah, I have noticed that too. Because again, the emails pop in here, and we see when there's new premium members or new memberships in general. So I do see those. So yes, I have noticed that. In fact, I'm going to have to. I think mine needs to be renewed this month. No, I think it's October. One thing I did saw, which I thought was kind of bizarre, is I got an email notification to renew my membership. I want to say last month, and it's not due until like October, which I thought was it's a little early.
Just pay it.
Just pay it. I know. Well, I'm planning on it, but it's just funny that I would get that notification 2 months ahead of time. So I don't remember them going out quite that early. So I don't know if things have been tweaked with the website or not. But hey, that gives you 2 months to get off the stick and renew your membership. So I'll be taking care of that definitely in the very near future. Okay, so if nothing on the membership or on the treasury report, Lori, did you put anything for membership together? Did you have a chance?
I did.
I know that, like as Annette said,
I apologize to my. So for July, we had a total of 13 new members or 13 signups. August, we had 3 signups. In September, we had 1. And as of today, we have had 94 signups for this year.
Right. Well, and I wonder if some of that goes back to us being able to do events, and we're getting more, the organization's getting, the word back out again. People are, remembering, hey, we're still around. We weren't holding as many events during the shutdown, but now, we obviously have, and which has been great. I've been able to attend at least one chapter event, which we'll talk about down the road here a little bit. So maybe I think that's a positive. That we're doing the events and people are, either signing up or renewing, which is the key. We'll take either. We don't care. We're not picky. Take either one. So just a good thing to note to the reps, of course, is during your events when you have them, remind people renewals are great. We love renewals. Go on the website. Obviously, if you're not a member. And you are a cashier, or heck, even if you're not a cashier and you just happen to show up at an event because you were looking for a buddy who didn't show up and you saw all these people and you thought it was a flash mob and you decided to join and found out there was a bunch of geocachers, they can sign up too. We'll take anybody. We're not picky. So definitely mention that out during your events. It's a yearly thing. If you're not sure, jump on the website. We can always look up somebody's status too if they're not sure. Just let us know, and heck, it's easy to go in there and check.
Like Chris is not due until October 22nd.
See? Yeah. I think I got it August 22nd. So I still have the email somewhere. And
That's funny.
yeah. So it's like, we're getting ahead of the...
I pulled up my email too, and I'm due to renew on the 11th of October, and I got the email last month.
Yeah. It's like, hey. I mean, I'll keep it in the email. It'll be a reminder.
Yep.
So... I mean, there are people complaining not that long ago they weren't getting notices at all. So I guess I'll take early than not at all. So
Well, I'm wondering if it's so early that people are dismissing it and not paying attention to it.
possibly, but I think there were enough people saying they weren't getting notifications about renewal. I even had Brian tell me that. And it's just like, well... I mean, there's been updates to that part of the website, so there's always things, plugins and stuff on our website that do get updated periodically, and so some of them are automatic, others we have to push a button and it updates. So it may be that we had a recent update on that to where it's sending out the notifications early. And again, I'm not going to complain. I'd rather have them early than not at all. So. Which means I'll have to bug Brian about renewing him when the time comes. I'll have to go look at his account, his profile. Anyway, yeah, so that's a good thing. So just note, you'll get a 2-month reminder. And there's no penalty for obviously renewing early too. I mean, I could have renewed in August if I wanted to, but I just kept the email. Anyway, okay, so anything for Lori on the membership report?
Nothing more.
Okay, and anything from the group on membership? Because if not, we get to...
Chris, could we get a report on who's, by chapter, who's paid and who's not?
There's the question, huh? So one of the issues we're having with the website... And I need to touch base with Mitch on this because the last time I talked to him, he was working on it. We're having issues with reports in general. Lori, were you able to actually get a physical report, or did you just get it off the website directly?
So, no, I didn't get a physical report.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because I could never pull it up. So what I had to do is I had to go back into an old report that I had saved on a drive. And I kind of had to pull people's information from that. Mm-hmm. I had to do a lot of manipulating and looking at a lot of screens to make sure I got everybody.
Yeah.
And it's time for me to do that again. So hopefully the reports are fixed because that makes life a lot easier.
It does. And I need to check in with him. I have not tried to run a report of late, but when I did the last time, we were getting error, the error screen or the white screen of death.
Yeah, Chris and I spent probably an hour, both of us trying to do it and problem solve, and we couldn't figure it out.
There was something, and it wasn't just running reports for membership and it's just any kind of reports on our website. Doesn't matter what it is. It was also affecting sending out packing slips for merchandise. So when somebody buys an item, we usually send a packing slip that shows that they ordered X, Y, and Z items. Well, that doesn't work either. So something has happened, and again, this is probably a plugin that got updated, and now things aren't real happy with our website where we can't run reports of any sort of type. So until we can get that fixed, it's going to be hard to get that information that Gene was asking about, and really for anyone else. So I think that in the interim, I think the best thing to do is just, if somebody asks, ping either myself or Lori, and we can go and look up and see if they're active or not. that might be really the only way at this point, and that's just literally going into the backstage of our website, pulling up members, looking for that person's name and seeing what their status is. I would love to be able to run a report, but at this point, anything that is a document, anything that we extract off of our website, it reports, nothing will generate out of it. And there's something that Mitch is working on, and I don't, because we even had Jim look at it, Whitson looked at it, and he's like, this is much more involved than I can handle. And so Mitch weighed in, and he was a little dumbfounded about it too, and was going to have to dig deeper into it. So that's an item that I'm going to have to follow up on with him and see if he figured it out.
Is that stuff stored in like a MySQL database where you can go in and just run a query in MySQL?
You're asking a really technical question there, Patrick. We have multitudes of plugins for various things, so I think it's a plugin that's messing with it. Okay.
I just, instead of using the web front end or using plugins, just go straight to the data source and actually query the data.
Well, if we do, yeah, and you're talking about like exporting it completely out of our.
Well, you normally,
because that's what we're trying to do, and you can't. We'll export into an Excel sheet is usually what happens, but
so normally the stuff will be stored in some type of a SQL backend, and so you can just go in and write a query and run the query directly against the data source and create your own reports, independent of actually using the web interface.
Sounds like you know how to do this.
I've done it before, yes.
Maybe we might have you if you're willing to do that.
Yeah, so we can talk about it. I'll take a look at it.
Okay, that's definitely an offline topic, but yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We can discuss it afterwards.
Okay, all right. Okay. So that might be a workaround. And actually, if it can generate reports better than what the system does, when it's working,
I apologize for failing on my part. I had a lot of family issues going on for the whole month of July.
Your dad passed away, right?
Right. My dad ended up passing away. I did see the note in there, and I did actually pull out my planner. Oh, you guys can't see it, but there is a planner there. And I wrote it down as an agenda for next week to work on taking all of the Excel sheets that I have for each month or each time I did a report, and putting them in, because when you run a report, it doesn't tell you the chapter.
No.
And so I have to physically create an Excel, in the Excel sheet, create a line or a column and put in chapters. And so I have to merge some of those because I only do it for the people who have renewed. And so I have to kind of merge all those sheets together to figure out where everybody is. So,
it's the reporting function when it works is not really fantastic. I mean, yes, it will export data into spreadsheets, but at that point, then there's a ton of manipulating you got to do. It's just
it gives me 10 different email addresses. It needs the 3 different addresses, but not the chapter.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of information on the individual profiles and accounts, but it doesn't give you that information. And some of it may be user specific, where they're not aligned, or they could be somebody who is out of state that is not essentially affiliated with a chapter. Which really that comes back to us having to go in and just manually update and say, okay, they live in BC. Let's put them in OP chapter,
and that's what I have been
or
doing.
48 or whatever.
Right. I put everybody in a chapter.
Yeah, because you get these unaffiliated folks, which it's fine. I mean, they can choose to be unaffiliated. We'll say on their profile, it'll say choose for me, because they don't live in the States, and that's fine. We can just plug them in. So if they live in Eastern BC, we'll put them in Gene's chapter. If they live in Idaho or Montana, we'll put them in IE.
Yeah,
Just-
the other thing I've been doing is I've been putting everybody's geocaching name in there because some people don't put their geocaching name
Right.
in, and their ID is sometimes their geocaching name and sometimes it's not their geocaching
it's
name. So I've been making sure everybody's geocaching name is put in their profile
and
under
again,
the geocaching ID.
yes, Vicky.
Mark's waiting to come in.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for pointing that out. So we leave a lot of that up to the users when they come in onto our website, and they don't always fill stuff out. Sometimes they don't even put their address in there. It's like,
So one of the checks that I deposited just this week was from a Joanne Dowson in Gilbert, Arizona.
and I recognize that name.
A premium membership,
Mhm.
$20. I've got her name and her address, but she did not say what her caching name is. But I guess Lori, you may have to write her and ask her or whatever.
Yeah. So I email everybody before I send out a badge. I email everybody and I say, this is what's going to be on your badge. Please let me know if there's any changes.
Okay.
And then I make those changes and then I go forward. And if I don't hear from them, then it sits there until I hear from them and I keep bugging them. I think Jacob, I don't know how many times I think I bothered Jacob. I think it was Jacob for a long time. Like, I didn't know who he was. Or there was somebody in Idaho. I just kept emailing, and I even went to Facebook and stalked him on Facebook Messenger, and that's how he answered me.
All right,
No,
Lori.
that wasn't me, but I had to get back on with my badge the last time for printing 2 of them and paying the extra money and putting the right stuff on it. So I know I've got those emails. I know Lori's doing them.
Well, that's good. Lori, you might also just want to double check when you do email, just make sure that their address is right too. People don't always think to, they'll go in and renew, but they may not go in there and update their address. It's just an afterthought. Oh, I'm just going to go in and renew. So you may just want to say, hey, this is, is your address the same? This is what we have. And that's really important when it comes to getting coins out to folks.
Okay, well, that will be a little bit different than what I do, but yeah, I could.
Or
do
just
that.
add that in there. This is the address we have, or have you moved recently? Blah blah blah.
But what I do is I send it as a bulk email, and I BCC everybody, and so I don't have like that confidential information.
Gotcha.
in there.
Okay. All right.
I just say their name, their geocaching name, and the chapter they're going to be in.
So maybe what you might want to put on there is just something about, hey, just, make sure that your address is correct in our database. And then that way, that'll be a trigger for those to go, oh, you know what, we just moved, or...
Okay,
no,
I can do that, and if they respond, I can go update it.
Yeah, exactly. Just something like that. Just as a friendly reminder. Because, when it comes to premium members, they get those coins, and I don't want to have coins bounce back to us. They want their coin.
Other thing with the membership too, I know I've looked at it quite a bit after, I think it was Vicky asked me about new members signing up. And I know in the president and vice president emails, at least for us, we get the member checkout for premium, and it says where essentially the billing address. So every time I've seen one for her chapter, I've sent that over to her so that she knows somebody new is in her chapter.
Yeah, that's pretty helpful.
That's kind of the low-tech way to do it.
Yes, exactly.
It'd be pretty tough for us to manage that any more than just on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, I mean, and renewals too. I mean, you would have to be on that as well, not just the new members, but, it's a good way to keep the chapter reps informed. Hey, so-and-so just renewed. Here's their email. But anyway. So we could have a little bit better system there for sure. But I think part of it is, again, it goes back to what the website can do for us. And right now there's things it's not doing. So the old-fashioned way, and it sounds like Lori's got things somewhat handled pretty well. So just go with that, I guess. Okay, so anything else on membership from anybody? Okay, so now it's our next item here is the chapter rep check-in, and I did see a number of you have submitted reports, so thank you for that. What I'm going to do is just kind of go around the chapter reps, and if there's anything additional or anything more you want to add, by all means, I will give you the floor. We'll start with let's go the other way. We'll start with Aaron. Is there anything you want to add or put in? You're still muted. Oh, there you go.
Okay, here you go.
Yeah.
No, I had to. I had my phone in my pocket.
Oh, okay.
So basically, there's nothing new going on as far as geocaching goes, because my life took a sharp right-hand turn, and I'm now working graveyard and close to 80 hours every week.
Oh,
So I actually was talking to Lori about maybe stepping down and having someone take over for me, because
Okay.
my life has just turned insane. But I think now that I've been doing it for 2 months,
Mhm.
I think I'll be able to manage okay. It's just trying to get my feet back underneath me.
Okay.
It's crazy, you know, when you get your life situated and everything's comfortable and everything gets turned upside down. So
Yeah, I kind of getting into that mode myself, so I get that.
yeah,
But keep
it's
in
been a
mind,
lot.
Aaron, this goes for everybody, all the reps. Yes, you should host events, but it doesn't mean that you have to host every single one of them in your chapter. You can team up with people. I think I know Gene does that, where you can have people help you, or even do it where it'll be like so-and-so cacher and the WSGA OP chapter, or
Right.
Cascadian chapter. So
No, Lori and I paired up before.
yeah, and Lori's done some events over in your area, and that's totally fine. You know, she is a WSGA board member, so
Right.
having a board member in your chapter is kind of a nice thing, because they can hold events. I unfortunately have not done any yet, but I certainly can. I know Chris has done. He just did one here not too long ago in Tacoma, and it looks like you got more planned. But there's nothing to say that, you know, I could run one, or even Jacob could have one out there in the IE. And that's not just Jerry doing it all. You can definitely, you know, tag team and talk to some of your constituents, and if they're willing to share the billing, then fantastic. So just keep that in mind. It's not always all on you.
No, I surely appreciate it, and I appreciate the patience, because I'm just, like I said, I mean, my entire world got flipped upside down. So
As they say, life happens, right?
it sure does.
Yeah.
Even when you don't want it to. And I lost a lot of people that were really close to me within the last 3 weeks. I lost my best friend, my uncle, and my brother. So
Jeez.
it's been like one snowball disaster after another. So it's just like I just keep walking, trying to keep my head up. So
That's all you can do, and I think Umfenauer can definitely agree with you on that, because he's had a few family member losses of late. So yeah, that's always tough when they start coming in 2s and 3s. It's bad enough when it happens with one, and then you start having others. You lose others. That's hard to take. So, well, anyway, hang in there, Aaron.
well, thank you.
You've got Lori for support for sure over there. So,
well, I'm glad I have her, because she's an amazing girl.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. All right, well, let's check in with Patrick. First of all, again, Tri-City Coins Challenge, fantastic. For those of us that were there, applaud to the group. So thank you, Patrick, again, for everything that you have done with that group over there, and looking forward to next year.
We're already planning. We have our first meeting next Tuesday, I believe.
All right.
So it's already in the works. As I did send some information in. I'm not sure if I made it into this the report already for tonight. There were 3 recent events. We had a Friday night event before the main event on Saturday that drew just over 100 people out locally in the Uptown for kind of a end of summer hangout where everybody got together and kind of learned how to do adventure labs. And then we had the main event on Saturday, which drew just over, I think it was 610 people for that event that logged.
Wow. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. So pretty decent turnout. So that went very well. And then the Southern Oregon geocachers held a wrap-up event down at Roasters, which was way too small for all the people that showed up. There was about 90 people, I think, that showed up.
If it's the place I'm thinking of, I can imagine 90 people there.
Right there above the community center on the way out of town. Yeah. So way too many people.
we found a cache in that parking lot, if I remember right.
Yep.
Was it a pipe or something, or a tube?
Yeah, there's one in a pipe right there on the fence. Yeah.
Yep.
He pulled in a pipe or something like that.
So did everybody else that went to that event. They all found the cache.
Exactly.
Well, what was funny is we were there that night because we were caching with a couple of lackeys, and we were doing the night cache, the owl cache in the park there, and so we decided we'd get that one too. And it's like, hey, in a few more hours, there's got to be an event here. Maybe we can log it now.
That's a wise choice.
But we didn't.
So I know we had a lot of people who kind of hung out and did adventure labs, and so good news is if you finished them all, we had several people who are working on more adventure labs that should be coming out in the next 30 days, so that there'll be more on the map, so you can come back for them later on.
Outstanding.
So we've kind of been holding those back as a group, make sure that we had more available, because we know that people will come in and try and get them all done at once. So.
Yep, I couldn't get them all done that were already out there. There was still so many out there to do. So, got to come back.
There's a decent amount for our area. It's kind of surprising how many we have. But we don't really have any other future events planned at this point. I know there's been discussion by a few people of hosting more events before the end of the year, but there's nothing on the calendar at this point.
Okay. Well, you guys certainly have done a lot. Again, with the big mega event there and all, earlier this month. So
yeah,
I'm sure you guys need a breather.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. We're kind of excited. We're ready for next year, and like I said, we're having our meeting next week, trying to figure out what we're going to do and what time slot we want to put it in next year. See if we're going to go back to our regular time slot, or maybe try and get a vote from the community and see maybe do we want to try and push something around the HQ celebration. So
yeah, exactly. And I'll be interested. I know there were a lot of people that were kind of upset that it was not towards the end of June, but
yeah,
you guys. Again, COVID has messed a lot of things up for a lot of people. So
had we planned it for the end of June, it would have been canceled. So it's lucky that we planned it when we did.
Yeah, there was some incredible insight there on that team to have it Labor Day weekend. Because you were able to pull it off, which is fantastic. I had a lot of fun, and I'm sure those of you that were here that were attended also enjoyed it. It was fun caching with Gene and Chris, so it's a lot of fun hanging out with you guys that day. We had a great time.
And if you haven't made it down, come on down. There's about 60 coins left, so this will be the last full weekend where you have a chance to come down and complete the event.
Well, there you go.
The following Saturday morning, the adventure labs are going to be deactivated. So,
okay, you guys, road trips for those that did make it. Awesome. Well, thanks, Patrick. Thanks for everything and great report. We'll go over to Jerry.
I don't really have anything to add. It's been kind of slow event-wise over here, which, looking at the other chapter reports, it's kind of seems to be the same everywhere. We are hoping to have fall CETO for the new award that Groundspeak has. So nothing definite yet, but in the works.
Okay, is there any was there a Spokash this year?
There was not.
Okay, so
I don't know if Jacob has more information on that. I know he's been involved with that before.
I just don't think it happened this year. I know there was no planning or information about it, and I don't think there was any meeting or discussion even about it.
Okay.
And I think that's mostly due to COVID.
Yeah.
I just think it would have happened even if we tried.
Yeah.
So, but it's something that we could definitely help out with if the WSGA wants to be part of that, because there's a good group in Spokane of at least 10 volunteers that would put on something like that again.
Yeah, and it seems like JD and Lisa do quite a bit with that, with that group, and they've been doing it for, gosh, how many years? 5-6 years, it seems.
I think this last one was the 5th.
Yeah, they've put this together on their own, and again, it takes volunteers to make something like that happen, and they've just done a fantastic job every year, it seems like. So it's always a treat. And I was like, well, gee, it's fall. Isn't this about the time that they do this cash thing? And so it's funny that I hadn't heard anything about it. So, but again, not surprising again with COVID and such. So
yeah, because they would normally fall right after the Tri-Cities event, usually like 1 or 2 weeks afterwards.
Yeah, and it's been nothing, zero. So maybe
I'm on their website and there's nothing listed on the website.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate, but I'm sure they'll do something maybe next year. So anyway, well, thanks Jerry and Jacob on that. So we'll go to Mr. Umfenauer.
Well, hello. Hosted one event, went well. And what was there? 36 attendees. So I'm looking to plan one up a little farther north. I'm thinking Federal Way. I'm kind of seeing how the outdoor mask mandate works out. If it's going to, limit the number of people in a group, but so I'll hold off on that a week or so and see if there's any more details coming up. Other than that, events are happening here. We've got Cool Cow Cashers looking to do a monthly CETO, which is kind of nice for the souvenir. So
yes,
that's what's going on around here.
Kevin has been doing that, I think. It seems like every month for 6-8 months, something like that. He's always got something going on down there as CETOs go. So kudos to him. I always look at the time that they are, and they're always very early in the morning. It's like,
I don't consider 8:00 very early in the morning, but I hosted an 8:00 event, and people said, "Oh man, why are you getting me up this early in the morning?"
That's true.
If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here.
But I did attend that event, so
yes, you did.
I made it. I was not exactly timely, but I did make it.
You made it before me.
I made it before you, yes. So it's just getting down there is a challenge sometimes, but anyway, fantastic. I'm curious if anybody's heard anything from HQ, going back to your original message there about the mandate, the mask mandate. I don't think I've heard anything from any of the reviewers about restrictions that they're going to put on for at least outdoor events. I would imagine they may have some additional rules or something as for indoor events, but maybe that's a question for our Geo Cafe, because we have 2 of the 3 reviewers for the state of Washington that show up on that little gathering pretty much every week. They are there. So I think I'll pose that question to one of those 2 gentlemen and see what they say. But
I won't be this week.
Well, that won't be this week. So maybe Mr. Tees, I know you're here monitoring things over on YouTube, but perhaps you can pose that question in my absence, since I am leaving a kid in Bellingham at Western on Saturday, so I will not be able to attend the Geo Cafe. But perhaps you could pose that question, Jim, for me.
Well, and to be clear, I don't think it's going to be an issue with geocachers limiting, but I think the state might come up with, some changes.
Well, and that's the thing. If they do come down with some sort of changes, then it could affect events for sure. I mean, they may lock down us having events again, or they may come back and say only outdoor events we're going to approve.
Right.
Who knows? I mean, I don't hope that doesn't happen, because holding an event in November outside may not be the best idea, but you probably don't have to reserve a shelter at a park in November, so you might be okay. First come, first serve. Gonna have that 8 a.m. Event at Coulon Park. Grab one of the shelters. Anyway. Okay, well, thanks, Chris. Let's toss it over to Karen of the North 48. I like that. Karen of the North 48. You may have to change your caching name.
I was just thinking that. So, I had a event in July, and I haven't done anything since. I have some plans to do something with Toilaire up in Bellingham, but it's going to kind of depend on masky stuff. And I've just been, I don't know if y'all heard, but I had a little incident at Monte Cristo.
Uh-oh. What happened?
I had to get 21 stitches in my leg.
Whoa, what did you do?
I was off trail looking for a geocache.
Surprise!
And I was talking to Komakino, and my leg got caught and I fell, and so this branch basically cut my leg open. And
you know what? Leave it to Rich to cause an injury.
So he feels personally responsible, and he's done a video follow-up.
Watch that. It's horrific. It's horrific.
I haven't actually seen that photo of my leg. That Bill sent that to him. It looks much better than it does in the video.
Pretty horrific.
It's gross. It's gnarly. So I'm still actually healing from it. So yeah, it's just been. Man. Yeah, so I had to hike out and go to the hospital and get stitches, and that was fun.
And then, and you got the question, how did this happen? And then you responded, I was out geocaching, and they're like, what's that?
Well, it's funny because when I got the stitches out, the nurse that I was like prepping me, he's like, so how did this happen? And I'm like, and of course every person I've said it to is like, well, have you heard of geocaching? And he's like, oh yeah, I used to do that. My daughter's 4. I'm going to start doing it again. I'm like, okay. And then before I left, he goes, well, my most important question is, did you find the cache? And I'm like, well, I had left by then, but they did sign my name on it. So, anyway, yeah. So I've been.
You had more pressing things to tend to at that point in time.
But yeah, everyone is awesome. And I have not watched the video because I haven't seen that photo of my leg. Because I didn't look at it for like 3 weeks. Bill just changed the dressing for me. And I had to put saran wrap around my leg to take a shower.
Oh, that's fine.
So I haven't done a heck of a lot in the last, I don't know, couple months. But so I do have something in the works with Toilaire in Bellingham soonish, hopefully.
Well, great. Well, hopefully, it sounds like you're definitely on the mend here, so glad to hear that. And obviously, that could have been a lot worse, I suppose. How far deep into that trail were you? I mean, did you have to...
We were a little over a mile.
Oh, okay.
And it cut into my leg down to the muscle. So it was pretty gnarly. Yeah.
That's bad.
So his follow-up video was a video to give people advice on what kind of first aid stuff to bring with you when you're out in the wilderness.
Nice.
So Yeah. And that's important. I mean, Bill had a first aid kit, and it's important because you don't think it's going to happen until it does.
Yeah, and then you're having that moment of, okay, do I have enough gauze to deal with this massive laceration I have?
Well, it's funny too because there a couple caches previous, it was up a hill, and I was telling Captain Matrix Tiffany that I'm not allowed up these hills because I'm accident prone. And then 2 caches later,
Uh-oh.
Okay, it's gnarly. I just looked at it on the video.
It looks much better than it did. It does in that video.
Well, he shows where it was all stitched up too.
Mm.
Holy cow, girl! Oh my goodness,
it's nasty.
It's awful.
It's
and I'm
gross.
still watching.
And you're still watching.
So the part that there's a part that I don't want to get too graphic, but there's a part that there's a flap. That's the part that's still healing.
Mm.
Everything else is healed. The stitches, like I have a scar where the stitches were, but the part this is still healing is the flap part. And I have a friend who's a wound specialist. She's a nurse, so she came over on Saturday and like looked at it and gave me a bunch of supplies, and she says it's healing great. So I'm gonna be okay.
That's good news.
Good.
It's not infected or anything like that. So
Rich does a really good job in the video, like describing how it happened, and like it's informative. I mean, it's horrific, but it's informative. And I actually didn't realize it was her until like after a little while. Me and Brian were like, "Oh, we're pretty sure that was Karen." And because we never really officially met, but I know you from here, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it is!" And then his follow-up video is really it's a little long, but it's really informative. It's stuff that everybody knows, but he breaks it down and talks about the importance of each one, and it's something that I definitely don't take as serious as I should, especially for longer hikes and tougher stuff.
Well,
it's a good watch.
Yeah, and it's funny because normally we hike with Doug Fresh, who always has a first aid kit. And Bill had just bought that first aid kit and hadn't really even looked at it, and it was in his pack. So now he has one in his pack, I have one in my pack.
Yeah.
And we won't leave home without them.
Being prepared on hikes like that, it's important, especially because you never know.
Yeah.
Accidents
plus
happen.
he had some issues with his diabetes on the trail.
Oh wow, okay.
After we left, apparently he had some low blood sugar issues, and then his port wasn't working, and so yeah.
Well, Karen, what a story!
Wow.
Now I gotta go
need
find
to get Monte Cristo.
Well, at least you got there, and you got that one claimed.
No, I don't have Monte Cristo.
Oh, you don't?
No, I didn't make it. I only went a mile in.
I don't either, Karen.
It sounds like you guys need to get together, host an event at the trailhead, and off you go. There's an event idea. Well, I would wait till you're
on that one too. We don't have that one either.
So needless to say, GCR 110 is tabled for Karen this year. I have all the hard ones left.
Save it when you're fully healed and ready to go, and do an event. 48 North meets.
Yeah. But anyway, moving. Yeah.
All right. Well, great. Well, thanks for that report. I'm glad to hear you're on the mend. So that's good. All right, Vicky. I'm not gonna forget you. No way. And I got to get the Gene too. So.
We just had our CETO on International Geocaching Day, so it was nice that people could, get the souvenir for that and get the International Geocaching one. And if they didn't, or GC8 Need. If some of them didn't even know about, we had a printout of how they, were able to get it for the newer cachers, because we do have some newer families in this area that have started caching recently, and they've been coming to a couple of the events that we've had, and been pretty active. So some people got like 3 souvenirs, and we put some extra caches out too, like 5 near there. It was near Vancouver Lake, so it was easy to kind of put a few out there for people. So we had like over 35 people come. We hold a lot of trash together. So that was basically the only event we had. We're gonna probably plan another CETO coming up. We want to head up north a little ways, so maybe in a month or two we'll see where we're at. And there's some local events in Long Beach this coming weekend. There's one in the morning and one a little later than that to celebrate the
Lori.
life of Lori.
Mhm.
Yeah, so if you're not doing anything and you want to come to Long Beach,
Yes.
that's going to happen this Saturday.
Yes,
So.
Lori, half Canadian, Wizard of Ooze. If you knew her from her reviewer profile, yeah, she was definitely a volunteer in the community. Put on some pretty phenomenal events, both when she lived up north near the border. Her Halloween events that she did up there were pretty epic, and then of course the Cash Dash Splash, that was her baby. That she hosted for a few years down there, and she had her group of volunteers, but it was kind of all her show. That whole Fun Beach thing, that was her deal. So
She passed away.
yeah, she passed away. She had some major health issues for a long time, unfortunately. I'm not sure exactly what they all were, but I don't know if it was diabetes or combination of a couple of things, but she was in a wheelchair for a while towards the end, and but she was still active in the community even then. I think she was still reviewing. She eventually stopped and had to quit doing that, doing the reviewer stuff, but yeah, very active in the community, just putting on the Cash Dash Splash. I mean, that was an event in and of itself to do, and putting all those caches out, and it was a lot of work. So anyway, if you got nothing going on it's on Saturday, unfortunately.
Her family is putting it on. They're gonna give out. They're doing some special geocoin too, and
wow.
they're really making. Yeah, it should be a nice event. They're gonna put some new caches in the area too, and it should be a nice day. We didn't personally
It's supposed to be
know
a rainy
her.
day.
Well, that's okay. I'll bring my umbrella.
It's Long Beach, September. Anything's
Yeah,
possible.
I know.
So yeah, if you've got an open spot on your day there for Saturday, you should go on out there. It sounds like it'll be a nice gathering to remember Lori, and both as a person and of course a very huge persona in the geocaching community in terms of what she did both as a reviewer and as a event organizer. So it's too bad I won't be able to make that, because I would have loved to have gone down there for that. But anyway, if you can make it, fantastic. Definitely go.
We're definitely gonna head up there, and even though we didn't know her, we did do some of the caches, and should be a nice time. There's quite a bit of people coming. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys helped out at the very last Cash Dash Splash, I know, and she was still there and kind of halfway involved in some stuff.
Yeah, Deb and I worked. Well, that was we did it just to keep it going one more year, and it was just a lot of work, even for the two of us to do it. I can't imagine how Lori was able to do it for those years. But again, that just tells you what kind of person she was. She was really dedicated to holding those events, and she basically had that weekend in September in Long Beach. That was her weekend for this Geo event. And if you were look at the activity calendar for Long Beach for the summer months, every single weekend was locked in for some sort of special event that was going on down there. She carved out her little area in September there. That weekend was geocaching, and she was able to, like I said, she was very involved with the community there, the business community particularly, as well as the recreation, the Long Beach Recreation Group. She knew everybody down there and was very much involved. Made it a little bit harder for Deb and I, because we of course didn't live down there, and we just came in and say, hey, we're going to try to make this happen because everybody's asking about it and they wanted to do the CDS. So we did it, but it was it was hard doing it from here, trying to organize it down there. It just wasn't going to work. So anyway, if you can attend, fantastic. All right, Gene. Definitely wasn't going to forget you, especially hanging out with you there.
I sent it to the lawyer tonight. I don't know if she got it or not, but anyway, yeah, we've had 3 events in the last 3 months, and we got one coming up here. I think the 25th. But yeah, we had 2 community celebration events, and after the Tri-City event, well, Chance came up and did a event in Wenatchee with some of the locals. And then on the 25th is the Zooters up at Waterville. They're having their 14th annual To Eat event.
All right.
Hey, Gene, what I wanted to know about that event is I know you still have the Snag the Tag 8 points. Would it be possible if I were able to make it to that event that we do redemptions for those and hide tokens for people to find so we can get those used up?
I'm not quite following what you're trying to say.
So in the swag box that you received, there should be 5 of the ticket-shaped coins for Snag the Tag. They're the eight tickets. Do you think that'd be a good event to give those out at and hide them?
Well, that what I did on a couple of events already, I've given out some of those deals as a prize on a raffle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we could do whatever.
Okay, because if you have more of them, they can be done in the Snag the Tag way of hiding them, and in Spokane we even redeem them at the event.
Huh. Well, maybe you guys can work something out offline
Okay.
here. It sounds like a great idea, though. Okay, yeah, you guys talk about it. I think it's a great idea. All right, let's keep this thing rolling here. Well, thanks everybody for talking about what's going on in your chapters. I appreciate that. Let's see. I still have outreach on here, Annette, but have you been approached by anybody? I haven't heard anything. Okay. Well, that gets us to the point of the show where we talk merchandise and the coin. So, Mark, I know you're here, and you've been waiting patiently. And Jacob, too. Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy?
Good. So we don't have a specific design for a coin just yet because we had left it at we were going to do a contest among the members, if people remember that. And I don't remember who. You'd have to look back through your notes to see who actually was going to take that on. I know there was some discussion over that. Vicky had proposed a coin, which was a road trip coin with a back in front of a car.
Yes.
Which I think is an awesome idea for a coin.
I do too.
So we could come up with something like that. My main question is do we still want to run some kind of contest or something? I think it was 2 times ago. I'm not sure you were here last meeting.
I wasn't, and I did not. So I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of the car coin, and I think that was your design, right, Vicky?
It was just a rough sketch. It was just an idea of just having, people with their geomobiles,
Yeah.
with the stickers. I thought we could incorporate the WSGA in there, the trackable number and the license plate, just something kind of different.
Well, I thought that was cool, and what we could do, and again, we don't know how big this coin would be, but one thought was to have like window stickers or bumper stickers that would represent different parts of the state. So yeah, you could have the Bigfoot, tracking Bigfoot, and then maybe have the Grand Coulee Dam bumper sticker on on it and so on, but something that would capture, different regions of the state to kind of make it a real WSGA coin kind of thing. So we've got, because that's always been included in our member coins, in our yearly coins that we do, where it is something that kind of captures the essence of all points in the state, whether it be usually we did like an east-west kind of thing, but we've done various things. So I think that would be a cool idea to take that little bug sketch that you drew out and make it so that you could have, because we've all seen these cars with like just a ton of stickers on the back of a Subaru Outback, and they're just peppered with them on the back. So I was thinking something kind of like that with your drawing, but instead of coexist, it would say you'd have like I visited Grand Coulee, or I was at Palouse Falls, or something like that. I think that'd be kind of unique and different. I think people would dig that, and we could make it our that would be our coin for this year for the premium members, and maybe do a different color car for a few that we would sell on the website as well. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I personally think that would be a really good idea, and I don't think the rough sketch idea or thing is an issue with it, depending on who it's sent to for producing the coins.
Yeah, what do you think, Mark? You've seen it. I mean,
I love the idea. I thought it was amazing. I also think that you can maybe even do a WSGA version where if somebody has proven in 2021 that they've driven to all of the different, areas or whatever we want to say, they can earn a coin or something. It's like a Washington State road trip.
Yeah.
Would this coincide with the Geo Tours? Is that what you're?
Well, no. This would be just I think what Mark's talking about, just something on the side kind of thing. But from a premium member coin, I think we could do one version. The car could be in one color, and then maybe if we had something like what Mark's talking about, then we would have, maybe it's a silver bug, or gold bug.
It not necessarily was a bug. I think I was more like a Subaru or something.
Is that what I was thinking?
Something
the Volkswagen
more Pacific
bug.
Northwest.
Well, okay, there you go.
Northwest car.
Yeah, it needs to be something like that, like something that's bigger too, for more room for stickers and things.
Right? Yeah,
about
something
a
bigger back end.
a bus.
What about a
I
Volkswagen?
mean,
There you go.
It could just be something where, you submit a form, a Google Docs form or something, where you submit, I found one cache in each of these, it's like a geocaching road trip. I found one cache in each of these areas around Washington. Therefore, now I'm in, I earned, and I can buy the coin for what, $10-15 or $10 or whatever it is. And so it's kind of like, oh, cool. That's kind of a road trip coin.
I'd buy it.
All right, so
I need to do caches in other places first, but yes.
Well, let's take a poll. What do you guys think about? I mean, you guys have all saw her design, right? Or the sketch. I think I've showed it before, and I can.
I don't remember it, actually.
Okay, let me see if I can
I'm
find it again here, and my various. Where the heck is it?
I don't think I ever saw the sketch of it, but I remember that being a topic at a meeting, and it was pretty well described.
Yeah, it's in.
How to put it on there.
So 2 meetings ago, we had it in the chat. It was posted in the chat. I'm not sure if that's.
I have to find the.
Available.
It's in one of my. Oh, here it is, right here. Here, I'm just gonna drag it out of this. Okay. Here we go. So let me share screen real quick. Here. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see it. See the picture there.
Oh, I guess maybe I remember it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's not really. I don't know why I thought it was a bug. I don't know why that came into my head, but no, it's really not. But it doesn't matter. It can be nondescript at this point. But see, I love the idea you could have the tracking number. You could actually sketch out or have the little bug emblem there and actually make that the travel bug, which would be kind of cool. But see, the bumper stickers was kind of neat. The Believe, I thought that was kind of neat.
The Pacific Northwest and the Believe is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. So all of that stuff, and then the WSGA is the license plate. That's pretty slick.
And the heart and the Washington.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You've got all of those.
I think a Volkswagen bus would be awesome.
The Volkswagen bus would be.
I am partial to them, just so you know. But,
yeah.
As well as Squatch, but yeah.
That and the bug are the primary sticker cars that you see anyway. So
that's true.
Kind of fitting for that.
And I think Annie Oregon would love it.
At our house.
Annie Oregon would love the Volkswagen buses as well. So
yeah.
You're not alone.
I vote for buses.
This could also be a sticker. I mean, you turn it into a sticker as well for people to buy or whatever else, like a bumper sticker.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys have seen it. I'll stop sharing now. You got the gist of it here. So we take something along these lines here, and again, it doesn't have to be exact, but this gives us the inspiration, shall we say. Vicky will have given us the inspiration for the coin, and we can incorporate these things, which I like. I think it's we've not done. I can tell you we've not done anything like this before. I mean, our coins primarily have been round for the most part. Not talking the ape coins now. I'm talking about just the premium member coins. Yeah. We've always done pretty much the round ones. I think there was one year we did the Washington State one, or it was in that black nickel that had the WSGA and I forget what they call that, translucent. There you go, the translucent letters WSGA. But for the most part, they've been round, basic coins with just different designs on them. Whether it be the hologram, we did that one year. We did the big cross thing. We did. It's just been so many of them. So this would be a departure.
Hey, Chris, have we ever done like a sun dial, like what do you call it? Like a stained glass window sort of an idea?
Well, we've done.
Yeah, last month.
Oh, last month.
20 years ape.
That's one. Yes.
Okay.
But for member coins, we've only done the real small black nickel WSG. I've got one around here somewhere, but I'm not going to go fish it out. But we had a small it was a coin in the shape of the state, and it had WSGA, and it was in translucent. So the W was one color, S different color, but you could see through it, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
that was probably 2010. Yeah. See, so Mark is showing the ape one. So it had that. It had those, that sort of stained glass thing in it. But that was probably 2010, 2011. It's been quite a while. And it was kind of a small coin too. I mean, it turned out okay. It wasn't really super popular, unfortunately. Took us a while to sell all those out after we gave them out to our members. But anyway.
But we do have a few constraints. It's already mid-September. So timing on this. The other thing with those kind of ones, the more complicated you get with something like that, the more chances are they're going to break them or break the mold and stuff.
Okay.
And so we got very lucky with the 20 years ape that they all came through unscathed. But I mean, if you listen to Groundspeak and their ammo cans that they made, I mean, they had 750 of them or something broken. So,
wow.
So that was a whole big remint on all that kind of stuff. And so, I think for a member coin, if we want to start something earlier in the year and we want to do something maybe special for 20 years of WSGA next year, that could be kind of neat. I would tend to keep it more simple because we're already in mid-September, as I said, and don't want to be handing these out next April.
All right,
that's my 2 cents on that.
So Mark, would you be willing to take this design idea and kind of make it so, I don't know, make changes as need be, of course, but I don't know how big it. Obviously, it would need to be fairly good size to bring up all of that detail too. So, maybe there's a lot of little.
Let me get a
images and stuff.
quote. Let me get a quote from a couple places, because I think it could be actually a 2-inch, 2-inch, 3-inch coin. It could be fairly big, but I think we want to get a quote from a couple places. I mean, what's going to drive it is this is going to be a premium member coin for the year. So, how many premium members are there this year?
Probably close to, I would say. Historically, it's been like 250. We've minted like 250 or so. Okay. Does that sound about right, Annette? I'm trying to remember. Because we always go over and above.
I think so.
Maybe closer to 300. I think because what we do is we have more than enough for the premium members, because then we sell some as well.
Right. No, I was just looking for a ballpark.
So
300.
Say 250, 275, maybe 290, somewhere in that zone. Definitely not more than 300. That way we can guarantee premium members get a coin, first of all, which, again, we're not. The thing with the premium coins is we don't really make any money off of it. In fact, I think in some cases we actually probably lose money off the coins. And this has been sort of been an off and on topic of, should we raise the premium member fee, to offset that, because we're giving these out. So the idea is we have a few extra, have a bunch that we can sell to try to recoup some cost of it. Okay. So that's why we just don't mint exactly the amount for our members. We have a few extra.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I mean, totally, because as soon as you start advertising it and people like it, then they're going to join up right then. So
yes, Gene, are you? Well. Oh, Gene's playing with his camera, his thing there. I thought he was raising his hand. Okay, we'll look into that for us, and then if you want an email update, would be fine. Just maybe share it with everybody, or share it with me, and I'll pass it on.
I'll get some. I will get within the next 10 to 14 days a quote and also rough artwork.
Perfect. That would be fantastic.
Approval, and then we can move forward from there.
Okay. Outstanding.
Do we want to get a quote from Compass Creek with Lisa here in Spokane?
I'm going to be taking it to more than one place, because you take it at one place and they'll, we'll see where it goes. But yeah,
kind of shopping it.
Yeah, because I don't mind talking to Lisa in Spokane about it and taking that picture to her, if that would help out.
The one issue with doing it with Lisa is we then have to spend it's extra 10% because we have to pay Washington taxes.
Okay.
So that doesn't help, and also they're pushing a little bit away from their business from custom coins and doing more subscription-based things. But I had a Zoom meeting with them yesterday, so I can totally, I'm not opposed to just bringing it up and saying, okay, what's the quote on this, and we can see. But she might not be as competitive if she has to charge 10% more.
That's a good point.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll definitely let you take the reins with that, Mark. And you said once you get some info and both price wise and of course the rough artwork, definitely toss that over to us, and then we can get a look at it and come up with a budget and all that fun stuff.
Cool.
Okay. So from a merchandise standpoint, do you have anything else for us, Mr. Jacob, by chance?
There was one thing. We haven't paid out coins for the ape pins yet. By the way,
and I found the invoice, and it's getting ready to be paid.
Awesome. So if you don't know, I don't know if Jacob has any on hand. We made a bunch of little ape pins in different colors. I think, how many colors, Jacob?
There's supposed to be 10, and I talked to Janae about it. They came out in the box, and it looks like 2 are almost exactly the same color.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to come up with some way to differentiate those two, but yes, it's supposed to be 10.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So there's 10 different colors. So I don't, as long as you like one color, you can get an 8 pin.
Yeah.
So that was just something that we wanted to put in the shop. We are hoping to get it for a 20th anniversary, but that didn't happen. So there's not really a timestamp on these, but they're all up in the shop now, Jacob.
I was waiting for this meeting to find out what price we wanted to offer them at, and what the release date, so to speak, would be.
Yeah, whenever you want to do that. I mean, I just think it's it's up there. People will want the pins and stuff like that. The 20th anniversary, we're down to very few of those, right?
I don't have any of them left. The smaller black ones with the gold rim on them.
No, are you talking about the coins?
20th anniversary ape coins.
The ones
Sorry,
that
I switched gears there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
I
you were
still have
talking about the
coins.
8 pins.
No, the 8 pins are long gone.
Yeah, the old
Yeah, all
8
the other
pins-
8 pins are gone. That's
Yeah.
why we ordered these ones.
Yeah.
We needed some
I-
new ones.
I still have coins, partly because of the issue with the coins being stolen from my mailbox, and I couldn't bring them to my event. I now have a really nice lockable mailbox, but I still have coins, and some people reached out to me, and I followed up, and they haven't responded back. And I need to send money to Annette for the coins I have sold.
So yeah, they're selling really well, I think. I was looking at what there was. There was one small snafu. You had sent me 3 of the XLE coppers for some guy in Europe, Jacob. You meant to send me a different version, but you sent me the XLE ones, and I didn't even look in the box. I just forwarded it on to him.
Uh-oh.
And so he goes, "Why do we have that? Why do I have these ones?" And I'm like, I don't know. Can I have them back? He goes, "No." So it's fine. It's not a big deal. I mean, we sold them for $20. That's fine. They were all gifts originally, so it is what it is. So anyway, I think they sold pretty well. I think people really liked them, and I still find people emailing me who want them. So I don't know if any of the chapter reps have any to give to people or anything like that. But sell at their events. But yeah, we're all looking for merchandise ideas and things like that. So I think we'll be able to populate with a few things.
What do you think we should sell the new 8 pins, the colored ones? Do you have a price idea in mind for those that were?
So for me, I was thinking it'd be easiest to do $5 to put them on the website for that price, and because if they do end up at the events, it's a lot easier to make change for $5 than it is for $4 or $6.
True.
We could do all 10 for $40 or something like that. So
Yeah,
$1 off each.
To offer them as a set would be great too.
Yeah, because there will be people that will want to have the colors of the rainbow all in the little dancing ape. So of course, there's the gotta have
All
it people.
in a hat.
No, that's right. Right, all in a hat. Exactly.
If that's the case, and we can do $5 on them, I can try to get them on the website by next week.
Okay.
And then I'll do the set price, and I'll get photographs of them so we have
Cool.
the colors correct.
Awesome.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay.
Well, that's something that we're doing, and then we can figure out stuff for 2020. I mean, not 2020, 20 years WSGA. Work on that.
That's a whole separate topic, which is
And now
coming up
who's
very
doing-
soon.
Is only one person doing ape, or are there 3 people?
Well, we're segueing right into ape. That's perfect. So, if we're done with merchandise, we can go right into the new business point of our show here, and we can talk about 2022 apes, since that is the only item in new business. And so, Karen, For those of you who may not know, Miss Karen has put up her volunteer hand and is going to be the new ape queen. Since the old ape queen was Jessie, so we have a new ape queen now. I don't think there's a tiara that comes with that role, but you may want to talk to Jessie about that and see if she had some ape hat or something.
She has a T-shirt. But
she has a T-shirt.
It won't fit me.
She has it.
Jessie and I met a couple weeks ago, and she pretty much gave me a brain dump of all things ape related, which I had to throw into a spreadsheet to keep track of stuff.
Fair enough.
So, I'm kind of working on a timeline of what needs to happen when. But the main thing I wanted to bring up today was the hard date that we've decided on for APE. It was suggested to do it the 27th of August next year, which is the week after 20th anniversary and 2 weeks after Geo Woodstock.
Mm-hmm. Which I think was a good idea, because if we put it in that time frame, then we can have it at the usual place we always have it.
Yeah.
And we don't have to do anything really special other than, just hold the event and, maybe come up with another snag, spot the ape thing and do all that stuff that we do. Get some, obviously we'll have adventure labs and all that stuff that come out of that. But we wouldn't have to spend a ton of money for a venue that can hold 5 to 8,000 people or whatever.
Yeah, we don't have to. We already have a plan, a thing that works.
Right. We just need to get the permit, the porta potties.
Right.
Buy all those tickets for the parking and all that other stuff that we always do. Do the merch and all that fun stuff. So. Yeah, and
so she gave me a lot of really good information. Like, she gave me all the names of people who like to do certain tasks at APE event.
And there's the volunteers too.
So I won't upset anyone when I don't ask them, because I know everybody that wants to be asked to do a specific task, which is lovely.
There you go.
So yeah, and I got the budget spreadsheet today. All I know is that the budget in the past has been $10,000, which I know we don't have $10,000. But pre-selling swag packets should help.
Well, that's what we've always done in the past is the pre-sale. And of course, we don't need the budget of 10K doesn't mean it's getting spent all at once. So we can definitely I think selling the swag bags early is great. And that generates the money coming in.
Yeah.
So obviously before we can do all that, we need to come up with ape designs. We need a design for that event. What sort of merch we're going to put together, what are the packets going to be like.
Right.
So can I throw something out?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I know you guys are all for going after, and I get that for the staffing and the parking and all that, but I fear that we're missing out on a large group of people coming in for those events, that our merchandise sales could really maybe go up. So what about if we had offered prepackaged events that we had them at the Geo block party where they could pick those up and still get that merchandise, and they can go up to Hayak and do the hike if they want on their own.
The weekend of the 20th
well, and
anniversary.
The community celebrate, of the event that HQ is doing.
That's an interesting idea.
Because, are we going to have like a tent at the block party or
exactly
something?
At the at the community celebration event? That would be something we could certainly. I could ask Brian,
because we would still get more sales from those people, because I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed. They're going to come out there and like, oh well, that ape event's not happening
right
after the block party. and there's no big thing. I can't get merchandise until next week. I'm not going to be here because some people are not going to do 4 week vacation.
Well, that's totally true. The issue with having the event for the 20th in conjunction with the 20th anniversary is staffing.
No, not the event.
Right.
Not the event. Just
no, I understand.
Table.
Yeah. So you're saying to have a table at the 20th anniversary event in the Seattle Center where people can pick up their pre-purchased swag packs.
Yes.
And then if they want to go do it, they can go do it. Is what you're suggesting.
Yeah, in other words, they don't have to attend the actual event to get their stuff. If they want to get it early, great.
I love that idea. I think that's an awesome idea.
We would
definitely. You're right, Lori. We'll probably sell more if people, excuse me, and some people might include APE as part of their plans for 20th anniversary. Lots of people. So
there's going to be lots of people because that's a major thing. Not everybody's going to be able to come out and do that APE event again.
I love that idea, and I definitely think that's a good idea. It's just a matter of figuring out. I've been looking at swag ideas, and I've been kind of looking at things, but if anyone has any suggestions on swag ideas too, that would be. And I know that Jacob expressed interest in helping with APE. I don't know if anyone else is interested in helping with APE.
Yeah, I can help with it as long as we have a firm date before the end of the year. That would be my only restriction because I'd have to get vacation time for it.
Help physically on site when we
on site and know that I could help with the merchandise and everything if it's related to the event.
Right.
And I think that's key, getting an event date as soon as possible for people.
I mean, I kind of feel like the Saturday after is a good time to have it. For many reasons, but I don't know. I associate APE with August.
Well, that's true.
And with GeoBlock or with Block Party, which obviously hasn't happened in 6 years, but I mean, I feel like August 27th is a great date to have it.
So just to I'm looking at the calendar here. So the Woodstock is a week, 13th. If I remember right, it's the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 20th, so it's the immediately following, the next weekend is the Block Party, the celebration event. And then it'd be the week after that would be our little event.
Yeah, our little event that can handle 1,200 people. Yeah.
I think that would, I like that idea. I can ask Brian if there is a way we could, I don't want to say crash their party, but sort of.
So speaking of that, Jesse told me that there was some talk about WSGA having a beer garden at the 20th at the event to make money for WSGA. And there is a way to do that. There is a way to do that without having all the WSGA people manning beer and selling to people.
Well,
there's a way to do that.
We talked about that way early on, like a year before it was in 2019. Mm-hmm. We were talking about it, in prep for the big 20th celebration, which didn't happen. And so one of the issues that we were having, because at that time we were going to do the APE right when it was originally planned, it was going to be celebration, APE, and then Geo Woodstock the next weekend. So basically the APE event was going to be on Sunday. The celebration event was going to be the Saturday before. We were going to have to come up with a whole bunch of volunteers, for one thing. Not only volunteers to run the beer garden, and they would have to be professionally trained to pour beer, and there's permits and all this other stuff that goes with it. And we started looking into it. It was going to cost a bunch of money for us to even do that. To even run the beer garden, it was going to be expensive. We were going to have to shell a bunch of money out. Now we would get it back and then some, but then having to turn around and host a ginormous APE event, and take those volunteers that were pouring beer one day and having them come over and help run the APE. it was just not going to work for us. There was just no way. We just don't have a huge, deep pool of volunteers to do that. So we passed on that. At the end, we decided it wasn't just feasibly and physically, it wasn't going to work for us. Now, would that work now? How things have changed? I mean, maybe, but I mean, how many of you want to, volunteer 2 weekends in a row, one to pour beer at the 20th celebration, when you would probably rather partake in the festivities of the celebration than versus?
Well, no, you can actually hire some people to do it all. They would have they would have servers, and sometimes you don't always have to pay up front. But I don't want to get off track from the 8, but I do like Lori's suggestion. So we would need to have a table at the Seattle Center for the event.
And maybe even
obviously
having
manned by
merchandise
volunteers.
for sale. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was
and
thinking
I would volunteer.
too. We could do both. We could have some ape. We could not only have the ape package there, but maybe even have our store represented there as well, so that we can sell some. I mean, we could end up making money pretty nicely there. So that's a really good idea. I would need to check in with Brian, and I haven't talked to him in a bit.
So
yes.
When they started talking about this for last year, I was approached about buying a booth type space for my Valley Cities Geo Tour, and it was going to cost like $175, $200, something like that.
Okay.
Which wasn't way out of.
That's not unreasonable.
Yeah, that would be
So
fine.
if they're still going to do that, I think that would be well worth our while to sell the merchandise or have it there ready for people to pick up.
We'll make our money back on that very easily.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if we've got a lot of merch, right, Mark? If we have some really good coins and such.
Well, so there are some complications with that, because I have looked into doing events both at Seattle Center and at other places around Seattle. You have to give 10% to Seattle or something, to the Seattle Center. They like skim off the top. I don't know if that's still something that they do. And you need the necessary permits to do some of that stuff. So handing out pre-sold stuff, I don't know if that's included in it. Because if somebody buys a packet beforehand and you're just giving them the packet, that may be a difference. It might not be, but there going to definitely be some financial considerations to go along and to comply with some of this. I'm not saying it's a deal breaker at all, because that's actually an amazing opportunity to meet 10,000 geocaches and just sell everything. Yeah. But it is something that, I mean, I don't know what the rules of Seattle Center are. I mean, I know it's a private entity or whatever else, but when I had done something else.
Well, because HQ is renting out an area of Seattle Center, I'm not exactly where. I guess I could find out from Ari or Annie
right
or
by
somebody.
The fountain, probably.
I wonder if we could be included in that
umbrella.
Yeah, because they would have to get a permit, I'm sure, because they're doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if we had I'm wondering if we. I mean, I get where you're coming from, Mark, but I think if we talked to Brian, whomever is managing the 20th anniversary, and asked them to have an area for WSGA for 8 pickup, I think hopefully we wouldn't have to. Well, we might not even have to pay, but
right. All I'm saying is we're probably going to have to jump through a few hoops.
Yeah.
And so we just need to be prepared for that. If it's going to cost us not just a booth fee, it might cost us this, it might cost us a permit here and this and that. So it could be could be up to like $2,500. But I mean, still, you got an opportunity to sell $20,000 worth of merch. I mean,
so Chris, can you check with Brian on?
Yeah, I will dig into that a little bit and see.
I would follow up with Jesse rather than Brian. Brian doesn't know anything about the 20th anniversary.
Well, I can check with Jesse.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's
forward you to the right people. I mean, whether it's Marty or Jeff or whoever
Right.
is working on it.
All right. That's probably a good idea. Jesse will be maybe closer to what's going on.
Or at least be able to forward you to whoever the person is. Brian's just going to do the same thing.
Yeah. So let's do that. And I mean, again, we're a state nonprofit, and perhaps that pulls some weight on some of this stuff in terms of, do we have to, if there's a skimming off the top kind of thing. Again, remember, HQ is for profit. We're not. So their rules might be a little different for them versus us. Who knows? But we'll need to look into that. So yeah, let's start with Jesse, and then
I'll email her and find out.
Okay.
Can I interject for just
Go
a
ahead.
minute? So just an idea. I know in my box for my chapter, there's like a whole bunch of shirts and sweatshirts and stuff like that, and I've given them away at the events and stuff. But how much do we have like just sitting around of old merchandise?
Well, it's a good question there, Jacob. I think we kind of cleared the things out, haven't we?
Nearly everything is gone, and that's actually, Annette went over in the treasurer's report about a little over $800 that I sent her. A fair majority of that was from essentially our old stock, and I went to 3 different events and basically just found people that wanted it and offered a good price for it.
Okay.
So we're almost completely out of it.
All right, because I was just going to suggest maybe if we have that booth, to maybe do exactly what you just did at those couple of events. I just know that stuff had been sitting around for a bit, so I just an idea. So.
All the more reason we're going to need some new stock, especially if we're going to carry forward with what we're talking about in terms of having a booth at the 20th celebration. We got to have merchandise to sell. I mean, this is all great. Yes, we can give those 8 bags away to people, but we ultimately want to make some money if we're going to do that. And we're going to have a huge geocaching audience. So why not have our store there too and sell some of our gear? Thing is, we got to have stuff to sell. And if we have,
is there any way that we can make shirts for the event? Maybe like, I know we have 8 event shirts, but can we do like a trifecta event shirt? Like the block party, the 20-year, and
I imagine
Woodstock, whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure each of those entities are going to have their own thing. So I don't know if we want to get in on the deal or not. But if you're going to have a 20th celebration shirt and a Geo Woodstock shirt, and then of course we're going to have our own ape shirts.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what sort of a market we're going to have there when each of the event organizers are going to have some kind of a shirt that's going to be part of a package you're going to buy. Okay. So I don't know.
That's an idea.
It's an interesting idea, sure. And we can look at that. And we ultimately probably should have some kind of WSGA branded merchandise, whether it be shirts, caps, or whatever. So maybe we can look at that. But I think first things first, we need to see what the HQ folks say about us even, crashing the party and having a booth there. And then if it's financially feasible, then, we can look at that. And then at that point, we need to put some merchant gear and start getting some stuff for our store, because we're just going to have coins and pens. As far as I know, we're going to have 8 pens and we're going to have coins and not much else. So we need some merch ideas. So maybe Jacob can think of that. Jacob and Mark might want to brainstorm on some ideas just for general merch, not for the ape event. That's going to be a separate entity, but just general merchandise that we have in our store site that we can sell.
Yeah,
When you say general merch,
yeah, go ahead, Karen.
When you say general merchandise, are you saying specific to WSGA? Because someone from Idaho might come to our table and go, "Why would I buy a WSGA whatever?" So that's what you're meaning is WSGA.
Yeah, just because we've always had some sort of merchandise to sell on our website. whether it be leftover ape stock, which tends to happen often enough, but then we have non-ape related merchandise, whether it be pens or we've had flashlights in the past, like these things here. We've had these with our logo on.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of stuff. So we don't really have any of that stuff. It's cleaned out, and we haven't really. I don't think we've had any major new items. Again, coins outside of this conversation because we always have coins, but I'm talking about just non-coin related merchandise.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to an event that wasn't a geocaching event, but it was like a murder mystery thing, and my group went in costumes, and we made face masks that said incognito mode. But wouldn't it be funny if we did incognito mode for the WSGA? Because it's supposed to be secret squirrel.
Incognito mode. Well, I think we could brainstorm on just general merchandise, whatever. Again, I think, if we're going to have a store site, if we're going to take the store site on the road and crash the 20th celebration, we need to have stuff to sell other than just the coins. Yes, the coins are important, and I agree, and we should always have coins, but it's not just that. People like pens, they like cashkins, they like path tags, they like path tags. Yes, path tags. Other such things. It doesn't have to be. Again, we at one point we had that little tool, that cool little geo tool that did different thing. But those kind of things, and we don't have to buy a ton of them, but just have enough that we can sell and has our logo on it. And so anyway. Again, Mark and Jacob can kind of think about that, and then Karen, really too. I mean, you want to think ape swag bags so that you can come up with some suggestions, and we can talk about those, at our next meeting in November.
Yeah, I have some ideas, but I'm open to suggestions for swag, as well as suggestions on the naming the different levels. I'm assuming there's going to be, or per pass, there's 3 different levels, basic, premium, and VIP, and what comes in each.
Okay. Yeah.
And how much we'll sell them for, which will depend on how much it costs to get the swag. So
exactly.
And we could even go more simple and not even do a premium, because basically you get 100 people buying the basic, 100 people buying the VIP, and 6 people buying the premium. So for ape and for other events. So if you wanted to simplify it just down to your basic and your VIP and maybe a spouse pass or a kid pack and a spouse pack, because the spouses both want 2 T-shirts, but they don't necessarily want 2 coins. So.
That's a great idea.
Well, and I think too, because of when our event is going to be held, people are going to blow a bunch of their geocaching budget on those big events that they're going to attend. So we probably don't want to go full bore on some crazy A package that's got 4 or 5 different options. People aren't going to have the funds for that. I just think, because we're going to be the last event, people I don't think are going to spend that kind of thing. So I agree with you, Mark. I think we keep, keep it simple. What was that? KIS? Is it keep it? No, KISS. KISS.
It's simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or silly or whatever.
Whatever.
So you're suggesting a basic, a premium, and you can do an add-on, adult add-on, or a kid add-on.
Something like that, where we're not having 4 or 5 different versions of the ape event coin, and we get crazy silly with that, because we can very easily.
I like easy is better.
I do too, especially in what we're looking at next year, and with the triad of events going on. We don't.
Well, and I believe is this going to be the last ape event?
Well,
or no? Okay.
We haven't really talked about ending it.
Okay. I just assumed, but I didn't know.
No. I mean, that would certainly be a topic for a future meeting, but if we wanted to, I don't think we've ever really brought it up. I mean, it's lasted a long time. In a lot of ways, it's our biggest fundraising event that we ever get. We make a ton of money off of all the merch that we sell for the ape, and I think people love the ape event. So I mean, I don't want to say it's a main part of our identity, but in a lot of ways it is.
Yeah.
So
It's
maybe
kind
keeping
of an annual thing.
well,
And it's one of 2 left, so.
right. So I kind of like, well, I mean, originally the ape started out as an adjunct to the block party, and that's where HQ came to us and said, hey, we've got this Saturday in August booked for our block party. We're going to have all these people from out of town wanting something else to do on Sunday. And that really was the start of how the ape event came around, is they wanted a second event, and it eventually, I don't try to think if it was a mega right out of the gate. It might've been.
The first one was at Geo Woodstock. So,
okay.
So we had Geo Woodstock, and the Geo Woodstock crew said, we're not doing an ape event at the same time. And then WSGA stepped in and said, we'd like to do that. And it was great. So, and then the block party kind of precursor was behind the Lost and Found event or whatever it was.
Right.
Was after the Woodstock.
Right. That's it. So it has kind of taken on its own identity over the years. So it's, I mean, I think it would be an error if we were to just stop doing it. I mean, reinventing it and making it interesting, that we certainly can do. And we've changed things over the years. I don't remember us initially doing pre-online sales. We were doing them right at the event, which was kind of something of a fiasco for us. And we realized, hey, we were best served doing online pre-sales. We can get our money, we can recoup a lot of our money pretty quickly instead of waiting for the day of the event, that sort of thing. So, and it was much more organized too, which was another nice thing. So anyway.
Well, we were taking orders, and then people were picking them up at the ape event also.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they were paid for them ahead of time.
Yeah. So we've changed things quite a bit over the years with the ape, and have really got it, I think, streamlined pretty well. The format we have now is, I think, pretty decent. And obviously, with adventures coming along, and then, Spot the Ape, that is certainly added to the ape event, because we originally didn't have any of those things back in the early days. So it has taken on its own identity over the years. And I mean, the other really cool thing about it is it brings our members and membership together in one place. Yes, it's the same place every year, and that does suck for those that live on the other side of the state. They have a drive a long ways, but maybe the same for the people on the peninsula as well. So it's not a roving event, which I always thought that would be a kind of a fun thing if we did our own sort of version of Geo Woodstock, where it was kept in the state and rotated around different places. But the ape event is really, the identity is that location and what we've done with it. So, and I guess my feeling was, if it ever got to a point where it fell below a mega event, that might be our cue to step aside and do something else. People stop coming, then maybe that's when we need to start looking at doing something else other than ape. But as long as it still draws the people, it's the old adage of build it, they will come. If we continue to host the ape and it still continues to be a mega, people continue to show up, then I think we're doing what we're supposed to be doing as a organization. Okay, anything else on Ape 2022?
I need to get going.
Okay. Was that like a sock puppet you had there?
Yes.
I wanted, that's what I thought.
Somebody put sock puppet in the aside there, so I was like trying to pretend like I wasn't doing laundry. Anyway, I need to get going. Just send me an email, Jacob, with anything you want to discuss with any of this stuff, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, Mark. We appreciate your insight as always.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see ya.
Hi, Mark.
All right. looking at old business, I'm realizing that there's stuff on here that we've already talked about that should have been removed from this thing. So the member coin we already talked about, so we're not even going to discuss that. The 8-pin votes, I think we already voted on that, so I didn't take that off. The anniversary, though, we will talk about. And Annette, we've got to look at that contract.
Yep.
From Mr. Jeffrey. So we got an official contract from Jeffrey, Mr. Gear Guru himself, who, if you don't know, Mr. Gear Guru at HQ is, he works with Miss Jen on the Geo Tours. That's his thing. And so the business side, I guess they call that over there. So anyway, he shot us over the contract. Probably it was the week of the Tri-Cities Extravaganza. So I know I've looked at some of it, but I wanted Annette to review it as well before we started putting pen to paper. So we are at that point that we're going to review this, sign off, and then it's game on. There's a lot of things that obviously are going to go into the 2022, or I should say the 20th anniversary Geo Tour for the WSGA. We obviously need to come up with a catchy little name. I almost think we might even need just a committee, Annette, a side committee that we put together to help sort of plan the tour itself. Instead of just me and you. And I know you've got a tour you're already running that's completely different. So my thought is we definitely should get, I mean, I don't want like, half the board on this. We don't necessarily need that many people, but I'm thinking maybe a couple of people to help in the planning of the actual 20th anniversary Geo Tour. And one of the first things we probably should do is come up with a name for it. But anyway, we have the idea for it, where we're doing 20 caches in each chapter, so 140 odd caches in the tour. And that's what we agreed on with Jeff. So that's what the contract language says, or something along those lines. I think he said 144-ish. I don't remember the exact wording on that, but that's the gist. Each chapter is going to host 20 of them. It's up to the chapter reps to decide where the caches go. And you can certainly go to your constituents and even look for volunteers to place them. So when I say it's up to the chapter reps, I don't mean you're solely responsible for those. You can have volunteers help out with that. And I actually suggest that you do that, instead of having it all on you. There is also the adventure credit that's going to go to each chapter. There's going to be 2 10-stop credits for a total of 20 to set up at your disposal. It doesn't necessarily have to be part of the tour itself. Or my thought was they weren't. They would just be another celebration thing that we're going to put out to the community. So I was not looking at them as being actually required for the Geo Tour. You have to do the 140 odd caches plus all the adventures. No, that's just a separate thing. The other thing, yes.
So the adventure labs that come with this, there's 20 adventure labs.
Well, what Jeff was, when we had a Zoom meeting with Jeff probably about a month ago, I think now. Yeah. We talked about that, and he suggested that instead of having one of 20, he said it would be easier to do 2 at 10. So 2, and actually that's kind of cool because if you have 2 areas in your chapter that you really want to highlight, then you can have one in one area and a 10 spot in another area.
So every area gets
every chapter gets 2 credits, 2 adventure credits that are good for 10 stops each. So not 5 stops, 10 stops. Because we're going with the theme of 20, right?
Okay, I was just trying to make sure. So you're saying 48 North gets 20 stops.
Right. And they're split up into 2 equal things. So, which is nice because then you can. That's what I was trying to understand. Yeah, so you can highlight different areas. If there's a really cool area that you know, in the 48 North that really is screaming for an adventure, then you can put one there and then, you know, put one up in Whatcom County or wherever you want to put it.
Or end up being like the Tri-Cities where each city has 10.
Yeah, it's kind of along the same lines of that, except we're talking chapters. So, you know, I'm sure Jerry will have some fantastic locations, you know, over there. So it's going to be totally up to you guys what you do with that. You know, I didn't really have a plan. Yes.
Could you let me in? I got to get off my computer. I got to get on my phone cellular.
Oh, I forgot. I got to let Chris back in too because he had computer issues.
So will those still have a 3-week restriction?
No, they will not.
The 10 locations have always been restricted to 3 weeks.
Well, you know what?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. And that's something we can confirm with Jeff about that.
Okay, because that's what we're dealing with right now in Tri-Cities. Is we didn't want to shut ours off. We wanted them to be longer so that we could give out more coins. But they told us we had to turn them off after 3 weeks.
After 3 weeks. Huh. Okay.
We need to check on that because that was not.
That was not, but keep in mind too, I know that non-geocaching entities have gone out and have done, have purchased, keyword here, purchased adventures, because you can do that. If you as a geocache, if you want to give HQ $250, they will give you a 10-spot chapter. You would take that up with
Plus, we are paying for the Geo Tour.
Right.
And Tri-Cities is not an official Geo Tour, and they didn't pay any money to headquarters.
We didn't pay for the Geo Tour, but we did have to pay for the mega event functions. So there is actually an associated cost for our event with HQ.
Huh. Well, we'll talk to.
We pay for like our icon and everything else goes along with that.
Huh. Okay. That's something we definitely will want to confirm with him, that this is not just a 3-week thing. He didn't mention anything to me about that. So that'll be a confirm with him.
Yeah, because that was one thing that with our follow up with Lackey's post review of the event was one of the things that we brought up, that they need to review that process, and it should be a guideline. It should be changed, and hopefully exceptions can be made in the future for events like this.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just making a note to follow up with Jeff on the.
And I think that one of the things that Lackey did mention at that time is that typically when people are doing like the 10 location adventures, they're usually associating those with physical objects, and so that's why they require them to be removed after 3 weeks.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So what? Yeah, I'll follow up with Jeff on that. We got to finalize stuff with the tour anyway, and so this is part of the tour package, even though it sounds odd, but even though it's not going to be part of the requirement for the tour, we package that in kind of as a birthday gift. we were kind of working them over a little bit on the birthday gift thing. So I'll follow with him. We got to finalize it anyway, so that's going to be on one of the items, the talking points with him on it. So I will do that. But thanks for letting me know, because I didn't realize they were putting a time limit on those 10-spot ones. And we definitely want this to go more than 3 weeks. So we'll talk to him about that. But thanks for letting me know. So anyway, back with to the committee thing. We're gonna need to come up with obviously designs, logo, banners that go with this. There's advertising that goes with that, which I think the advertising was only good for, if I remember right, that contract said basically Oregon and Idaho and maybe British Columbia. I can't remember. Neighboring states, basically, where they would promote the Geo Tour for us on the geocaching website. You guys have probably seen those banner ads that show up promoting Geo Tours in your area. Well, they will pump that or promote that for us for 3 months. So we need to come up with artwork for all this. We also need to come up with a coin. I had a working idea for a coin. Basically a welcome to Washington postcard. That is a postcard coin. Maybe not quite the size of a postcard, a little smaller, of course, but one interesting concept that Jeff tossed out would be to have puzzle pieces that go inside that postcard rectangle shape that would represent each chapter. So when you complete 20 caches over here in the OP, the little postcard that says "Welcome to Washington," on one part of the puzzle piece would be the Olympic Mountains to represent the OP, and you'd have the cable bridge representing Tri-Cities or the South Central. That would go in there. So now, but you're talking about essentially what? We have 7 different chapters. So you've got the base coin and then all the little pieces that would go in. And then there's the managing of it. How do we get those pieces out? Who's going to do that? That means mailing those things out to each person who completes the Geo Tour as they go through. So we'd have to work on that. But anyway, so we've got a lot to do with the Geo Tour. That's why I'm thinking we want a simple ape this year because we have the Geo Tour to do and to run and the cost that goes with that. So I am looking for a couple of volunteers that can help with the planning of this Geo Tour. Annette, I mean, I would like you to be involved just because of your background history. Now, I might just give you a slight task to do with that, looking over the contracts because of that. But, I think, yes, I see Lori's hand is up, so we'll hit Lori here first.
Are we going to open this up to members of the WSGA to help be on this team? Or are we strictly just sticking with the board?
Well, from a planning standpoint, since this is our Geo Tour, we should be doing it. I don't want members. The members can help with placing of the caches. And again, I put that back on the chapter reps. They can, solicit volunteers for the actual placing and essentially even maintaining those caches. But from the planning standpoint, I think this should be us. We should not have non-board members being involved in a business sort of transaction like this. This is something that we should do. This is our Geo Tour. This is our 20th anniversary. We should be running that. And one of the things, of course, that'll be part of that will be the actual 20th, the WSGA's 20th anniversary event, which would have to be held in September of 2022, because that's when the 20th anniversary is. So that's going to be a separate item altogether. We can rent the same place we did the 10-year anniversary, which I was involved with. I helped secure the hall that we had it at. And help with some of the planning of that, but that was a much, lower thing that we did. It was pretty easy. We got all the members, the original founding members, together on stage, and so we had a great time with that. It was a potluck we held there at Kennydale Hill Memorial Hall, which was great. I mean, it was a perfect venue for hosting it. So, so that that's something side of the tour, but that's something else that has to be planned. So I'm just looking for a couple of people to help with coming up with designs. I think don't we get a website too, or hold on, no, do we get no? What do we get with that? We get a page, don't we? I'm trying to remember.
Do you get a GeoTour page?
Well, we get a
GeoTour page, yes.
Yes, but we have to come up with artwork. We have to submit banners that they will give us criteria of everything. So basically, like the advertising, the electronic advertising. So they're going to give us, a specific size of the banner that that will show up for advertising. We have to come up with an actual passport. Someone's got to design that. I would assume we would put that on our own website. The nice thing here is we have our own website. We don't have to go out and like other geotours and have one. We've already got one, which is just a matter of adding another page there for the tour. So we would need to do that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into a geotour. It's not just putting the caches on a map and having a coin and a passport and say, here you go. There's a bunch of backstage stuff that we have to do.
There is.
And again, Annette and I have been involved with putting the Valley Cities geotour. So this will be similar to that, but on a much bigger scale. So I'm looking for an artist, someone that can help with maybe designing it. Umfenauer is shaking his head. He's like, that's not me. But someone to help with some planning. We need to come up with that, special artwork that we're going to use. And I would think whatever artwork we use would be incorporated in the geotour or the advertising coin. I think that's kind of how we do. Mm-hmm.
I would love to be a part of doing the design and drawing and stuff like that, depending on the deadline. Because, like I said, life is crazy right now. But as long as it's not a deadline that's coming up like immediately.
No, right.
I would love to be involved with that.
We don't have a deadline hard and fast at this point, but the idea was this would start in 2022. Which ain't that long from now.
No.
We're going to have to get a coin minted. That would need to get done fairly soon. We need to come up with a design. And that's even if we go with the postcard theme. I just thought that would make a great coin. Welcome
I
to
love the postcard theme.
Yeah, I do too. I like
really
that
retro.
idea.
And the old artwork that they have for like state parks, that kind of vintage 30s, like I think that would be super
vintage
cool.
look would be really nice.
A
A classic look.
You remember back in the 80s, there was like a bunch of maps drawn, and it had like basically like little tiny pictures of the cool things to do in an area. I think it was kind of like a come see us sort of thing, but like a lot of different towns and cities had them.
Yeah.
So I was thinking something like that, and if the different chapters like puzzle piece onto the map, maybe those drawings could be on the map and covered up once the counties go in. They're not counties, but the chapters.
Well, we would have to even agree whether we would want a puzzle type coin or not. I just thought it would be kind of cool to do that. We don't have to. It's going to cost some serious money because from a minting standpoint, you're not just minting one coin, you're having to mint. Yeah, so she's got this Idaho thing. Look, Vicky's showing there on the screen. We could even do something, along those lines. I like the potatoes. That's classic.
Yeah, like that. That's a great idea.
Something
you could feature more in the chapter by doing something like that, because you could fit a couple little things instead of just like one big thing.
Oh,
that's an idea.
Maybe we could put the most favorited cache.
Or whatever. It would be. I think something to depict the state in that particular area, because this is the, it's our 20th anniversary. We should do something that highlight some famous landmark or something that particular chapter.
Like the Space Needle in Seattle, and an iconic item from each area.
Whether it's a building, whether it's a mountain,
down here.
It could be anything. Mount St. Helens.
Open up screen sharing.
Oh, yes. Let me.
Okay, so a quick thought here. We're talking about having an APE event in August of 2022, and then another event for celebrating 20 years.
Right.
In September.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about holding 2 major events in 2 months.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Exactly.
Something like that Chris has got up there.
I need something else in Vancouver, though, because that doesn't look like there's nothing there.
Well, but it doesn't have to be Vancouver, though. I mean, yes, that's part of the chapter.
I know. I'm just looking at Vancouver, and there's nothing there.
You got Mount St. Helens.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
The screen shares are not going to the live feed.
They're not. Okay. I don't know if that's... Well, that's fine, I guess.
That's better. Now it's there.
I think this is busier than what we intend to do. We would basically break it up into each region, and then there would be something iconic for each region.
Like either 1 or 2 things, or
I love this.
This is very cool, though. I like this.
Yeah, this is a great idea, and we could. Again, how much detail you put in there, of course, is going to affect the size and cost of the coin. And as Mark mentioned, the more intricate, the better the chance of the coins breaking and all that. So we probably want to be careful with how much of that stuff we're putting in there. But it's cool. I mean, you could have the Walla Walla onions. You could, you could have fun with that for sure. So, that's a cool working idea. So anyway, we got to come up with stuff like this. We got to sit down and come up with an idea for a design and all that. So just a couple people. We don't have to pick people right here, right now, mainly because this is running longer than I'd like it to. So if you're interested, ping me. Let's just do it that way. Looking back at the rest of the items here, there's really nothing else on the agenda other than talking about member comment on YouTube. So we'll get that in a sec. But if you're interested, just ping me and we can talk about it. And ultimately, it's an expense. So whatever we decide for a coin, because when we voted on doing the tour, we did not really come up with a budget other than what the cost of the tour would be, which we got HQ to agree to. We did not talk about the cost of the coin that will go into the tour and some of the other side expenses, if we're going to have the passport done professionally, or if we're going to do it. Yes, Vicki.
I was just going to say, if you want people to drive all over the state to collect these caches for these coins, that coin should be a real focus. I mean, it's gonna need to really wow them for people to go around and collect. So I just so we don't lose sight of like that coin and like how really amazing it should be. They should look and be like, wow, I really need to travel the whole state to
just look at how many people did the 100 plus of the state parks geo tour.
I did that one.
Yeah, there's I don't know how many, I don't know what the split out was between the gold and the silver coin, because they had 2. I'm sure they had more of the silver because it was 50 of the caches you found versus 100. But if we do a coin like we're talking, where there's individual pieces, people are going to be more apt to want to complete the whole tour because they're only going to have a partial coin. So that is going to be the drive. So obviously, again, going back to what Vicki said, give them a fantastic coin. They're going to feel empowered to go out and visit all of these places, in Washington.
Yeah, the state parks geo tour. There were not a ton of people that finished the 100.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
but again, this we're talking state parks. They had some of those locations were pretty far out.
Oh my God, yes.
Some of them were not easy to get to.
Oh my God, yes.
And, we would have criteria set where you would, and I don't think we would want to make people find all 20 in every, chapter in case something happens to one or two. So maybe we say, okay, if you find, 15 or 18 or whatever number we arbitrarily come up with, then,
Also, is there a way that I like the puzzle piece idea, like 100%. But if there is a way we can make the puzzle pieces, how do I want to say this, less sticking out. So if they do only collect one, like let's say they only do where they live, because maybe they can't travel very much, and they do that one where it still looks like a nice coin by itself, or maybe one or two pieces, just in case.
Is there
maybe
a way
make it a
we
way
could,
in the design?
Is there a way we could have, for lack of a better term, a path tag for each region that attaches to the main coin?
Well,
I don't know design at all, so
I love path tags. For me, I think we should have new path tags, new the 20th anniversary. We should get some new ones for that.
And we can do that.
But that would be cool too, to include them have a coin, then the path tags you collect to add to it. That might be easier.
And I've actually seen large coins where they incorporate that. So like the over on when we did our last Geo Cafe meeting, it was last Saturday. We were one of the topics was some of our favorite coins, and so we pulled out some of the. I've got like a friggin' vault of them sitting over here, and there's getting to the point where it's heavy to carry these two friggin' coins. So one of the coins I had was from Geo Coin Fest 2016 in St. Louis, and the event was at this really awesome children's museum, which was fantastic. It was an old factory they turned into this fun zone for kids to hang out, and they had like robots, and they had it was like a chutes and ladders place for real, where they had these ladders and ramps and stuff going down the various levels, and then they had this wicked corkscrew slide that went from the roof all the way into the basement. It was just, the place was just unbelievable. But one of the cool things is they had this huge vault that you could walk into. Well, that was the coin. They made a vault coin with a door, the door open, and they had little mini coins inside. So what I'm thinking is we could maybe even do a coin kind of along those lines, where you would have the base to hold them, and then you could have coins that would somehow fit within the thing, within the host coin.
Like an advent calendar.
Yeah, kind of like that.
It still looks nice if you only have one or a couple.
I think that would definitely be a design question that we would pose. I mean, we could.
You would feel like you would need to, if you wanted to complete that thing, you feel like you would need to try to make an effort to do it more quickly than, let's say, 50 other people, just to make sure you get your set and you complete your coin. I would think that
Agreed.
would be a little bit of an incentive.
Agreed.
So if you were to do, a coin for each chapter, and like maybe a base coin or something that ties them all together, are you looking to put trackable numbers on each one of these? Because every trackable number is going to have an associated cost with it.
Right. So
that's true.
I think
like when we did the Tri-City coins, you're talking like $1 per trackable for every number you put on a coin.
Yeah, well, that'd be another thing we'd have to decide. Do we want to do that? I mean, that adds up. So
maybe the base only has the trackable.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they did with the coin for this year. I mean, only the bottom has you can't see it though because I'm not going to show it. But there is.
You get that the whole thing in one shot.
You get the whole thing. But at the bottom is the trackable on the base, basically.
Yeah.
So I think from a financial standpoint, it would make sense to do that, and not have each individual piece have one. And again, it gives the finder the incentive to get out.
And will they get the base with their first coin that they get? Or do they have to buy the base separately and then collect everything?
Again, we could figure how we want to work that. There's a lot of logistical stuff.
When Lori did her Cash Dash Splash, one of the years she did a map And when you got the map, there was 5 little coins that went onto that map that were magnetic. And so you would go through and you would complete your passport. But as you did each section of the passport, you could go in and you could get that one little coin. But until your entire passport was complete, you didn't get the actual main coin or the map piece that had the trackable number on it until the very end.
Again, yet another incentive to finish the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that would be maybe the best way to do it, is just like how she did it, where you finish an area, you get, I want to say instant gratification, but you would get gratification that you finished the OP chapter, and now you're heading down the Southwest and you're going to work on that. And the idea is you're going to, that gives you the drive, because now you see that coin, it's sitting there, it's waiting for you to finish it. And I think people will jump on that. Why not?
And is this supposed to start in January, right?
Well, that was kind of the idea. We may not kick it off at this point. It may not start right.
Yeah.
Again, we got to get all this together, and if we're going to do a coin like we're talking, it's gonna take a bit to mint all of that. Even if we have 7 different pieces or coins or whatever those puzzle pieces or whatever those happen to be, we're gonna have to mint all those, mint a bunch of bases.
Okay, but do we have to have the coin right away?
Probably not, because I don't think there's going to be people that are just going to jump right out in the middle of January and get to all those places. Probably not.
Well, and the other thing to think about is if it's being minted overseas in China, is that, remember, they have that holiday in February.
So
We
I don't.
also have one in September too.
So I don't think we have to have it all done right away.
I was gonna say, can we just have it that if people do start working on it, like there'll be a date when the coins and what you've earned are available?
Yeah,
Like, you can work your way and complete stuff, but maybe February, January, March, maybe like April 1st, you can start, actually getting your physicals or something like that.
Would it be possible to get all the labs and everything set up and release them at the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
It's going to take people a while to collect all of that.
Yeah.
What if we had the first wave of redemptions for the coins and had the coins ready to go at the event in September?
We could do that too. It would
That'd
say
be a lot easier than trying to put together that much work in less than a year.
well, and think about the mailing of all this stuff too, right? Because you're gonna have all those little coins. So yeah, one thought would be we could have the event. That would guarantee people showing up for the events too. Not that I don't think it's gonna be a problem, but we could have that available at our booth at the Ape. So we could do some of that too, where do redemption in person. Bring your completed WSGA 20th anniversary GeoTour passport, and we can give you, the coins that you need, the base or whatever. Just bring your completed thing. So, we could definitely use events to our advantage in that way, and that will save us a lot of shipping costs. Because I think it's going to be popular. And
And there's a note in the chat here from Gary, like, what if we release 1 chapter a month with a kickoff event in that chapter? Those 7 kickoff events to release the 7 chapters.
And there you go. We could do that too. Be a great theme. We'll kind of roll it out with, fanfare and all that. Great ideas, you guys. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's work on that. So if you, again, those that are interested, ping me, and we'll get cracking on this. And then Annette and I need to review the contract with HQ and get that finalized, and ask Mr. Jeffrey about the the longevity of those 20 or those 10 spot adventures, and we'll get some of those answers done. And then we can still do fundraising too. That was one other thing that we were talking about is perhaps getting some partners to join us in this. I did, Annette, send an email to the Washington State Tourism Board. I haven't heard boo from them, but I did send them hey, do you guys have any grant money for tourism?
Jeff, Gear Guru told me about this happening, and he said that individual chapters might be able to find money within their chapter,
Right, and that's one of the things he talked to us about also.
Mm-hmm. To find a public, entity, whether it be, Visit Vancouver Tourism, or obviously with Patrick, we know that they've got a pretty active tourism group down there that might be interested in partnering with us on our Geo Tour. That's something they have not done. Kittitas County, for instance, is interested. I have an email ready to send off to them to see if they want to dip their toe in geotourism, as they were interested at one point in time of doing something like that. So,
oops, that was me.
Okay. Phone's lining up. So anyway, we also need to look at that too, because I think between, as Lori put out, we're going to have all these events coming up. We probably could use some extra money in our coffers.
Okay. So all the stuff that's over here in the chat, that doesn't save, does it?
It will not when I shut it off. No.
As long as he saves it before he ends the Zoom meeting, he can save it.
Yeah. If you go down and hit the three dots on the chat, you can hit the save chat at the very end. Just to make sure you do it before everybody leaves.
Okay. Oh, save chat. I see it. Okay. I just hit saved already. So there you go. It's on there.
So, one thing you might also throw in there for coin design too is, if you think back to the old like shoebox dioramas, if you take and do like a base coin, like maybe in the state of Washington, and then do your smaller tokens for each of your regions, like you're talking about, the puzzle pieces, they can actually stand up vertically into those small slots in the state. So each region would have like a little symbol that stands up and creates a diorama for the state.
Huh. That sounds pretty cool too.
It's that Tri-Cities thing coming through there, so you can never do anything simple.
No, even though they say they will.
Right.
Are going to, and they don't. That's a great idea. See, there's no shortage of ideas here for the coin.
Yeah.
It's gonna be probably what a budget will allow, but
Right.
Anyway. Okay, so again, ping me if you want to be involved with this, and then we'll kind of get working on this for sure. And then in the meantime, we'll get the contract signed and get those answers. Yeah. And then so just email me if you would, if you want to be involved with this on the planning side of it. Okay, and that's really all we have. So let me hit Mr. T's up from the member comment portion of the YouTube there. First of all, is there anybody even on there besides yourself?
Not that I can see.
Okay, well, that makes it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next meeting is November 17th at 7 p.m., which should be the third Wednesday of the month. So with that, I have nothing more on the agenda. Does anybody have anything else? What is that, a dog you guys have there, Vicky? Cat? What is that?
Dog.
Oh, it's a puppy.
That's Quinn.
Oh, that's right. I saw Quinn at the event.
Yeah. Yeah, you remember she was the one grounded everybody.
Yeah, she wasn't real she wasn't
like me at all.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Didn't you get bit?
There's a lot going on that weekend too. So
yeah,
true. All right. So anything else from anybody? If not, I say we adjourn the meeting. And I don't think we need to vote on it. So there's nothing else.
You do not.
If not, I'm banging the gavel, which is a piece of paper. Meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Yep. Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Where are you there?
Gotta find the end stream here.